Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some more Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Aaron Rodgers, have to talk about his debut in Week 1, 4 touchdowns in a 34-32 win over the New York Jets. Let's talk about it. Before we start, if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Would really appreciate that. So Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns in his debut in Pittsburgh, really carrying this offense because the O-line, the run game, did not offer him much, and that began with the opening drive. Pittsburgh scoring their first Week 1 opening drive touchdown since 2008, and their first opening drive touchdown in any game since late in 2023, and it did not look like that was going to be the case early on. Rodgers sacked on his first dropback. You're in 3rd and long here. And even just before this throw, this completion to Pat Freiermuth, you're watching Aaron Rodgers have that autonomy and control. A veteran quarterback like him should have, motioning Kenneth Gainwell from that wing alignment into the backfield, changing protection, sorting things out, winning that chess match, identifying the matchup, and then executing that as high-level quarterback play. So after getting Gainwell in the backfield, finding Freiermuth here, linebacker, outside leverage, Freiermuth crossing his face on the slant, a good ball, nice catch, and a big completion on 3rd and long. Pittsburgh converting a couple 3rd and longs early in this game to go up 7-3 after hitting Skowronek on the touchdown. We'll check out that play in a moment, but just watching the total control that Rodgers has here of this offense, facing this more exotic sim pressure type of look, this linebacker creeping, Rodgers motioning Gainwell in, changing protection, see the communication from Sayamalu, who's coming, who's going, it's picked up well, and then Rodgers, that side arm angle, right on target on time to Pat Freiermuth. So great job here, that big first 3rd down conversion to get this drive going. Another 3rd and 10 on this opening possession. Jets bringing some heat. We talked about it in our pregame scouting report, that nickel field side blitz. The Jets like to bring it, trying to hide this pressure as long as New York can. Nice job to pick it up by Gainwell. Throwing into the blitz here, getting this one-on-one matchup with DK Metcalf. Short of the sticks, but letting your playmakers make a play. And that's one of the most simplistic but really important things Aaron Rodgers does well. Go back to my 38-minute video I did on him whenever he first signed back in June. He knows where his playmakers are at. He gets his playmakers the football, making sure those guys are well fed, because those are the guys you're going to rely on to make plays in your biggest moments. So Metcalf here in the slot, nickel corner comes, safety coming down to replace Metcalf, getting away. It's a big gain and a conversion. Rodgers knowing where to go with the football. Protection's picked up well. Pittsburgh lived in 3rd and long far too often in this game. You're getting the sim pressure here, these 2 inside linebackers mugging up into the A-gap, very popular in the NFL. Pittsburgh's going to see that a bunch throughout the season, especially against Minnesota Week 4, what Brian Flores is doing for the Vikings, but it's well protected, it's sorted out. Rodgers making a throw, letting his playmaker make a play. Now let's check out the first touchdown, the first of 4 that Aaron Rodgers had as a Pittsburgh Steeler, the 22-yard touchdown to Ben Skowronek for that first opening drive touchdown in Week 1 in 16 years. It's great play action, getting the linebackers to step up, to freeze. Skowronek running the crosser behind, gets open, and Rodgers puts it on. And play action, a really big part of the Arthur Smith system. Rodgers, 3 of his 4 touchdowns came off play action. This play fake to bring these linebackers up, create the space underneath for Skowronek wide open, and it's pitch and catch at that point. But that play fake, really, really vital. You didn't see Rodgers bootleg and really move the launch point in that sense, but you're seeing it here. You're seeing him roll. You didn't see some of the traditional true bootlegs that, Fields and Russ ran a lot last year because he's 41. He's not as mobile, but still utilizing play action, still changing the launch point to some degree, and really, really effective use here, I thought. And even when Russell Wilson took over last year, you saw a boost in play action. Rodgers taking that to another level. It wasn't perfect. Pittsburgh sacked twice off of play action in this game. Not Rodgers' fault largely, but really effective here. Really like this throw from Rodgers, downfield completion to Calvin Austin. Austin here in the slot. Just this off-platform throw that Rodgers can still make at a pretty high level, something he's done throughout his career, and you're still seeing it even at 41 years old. Pressure up the middle. Rodgers does not have the clean base to step and transfer your weight from back to front foot to, but still throw in a great ball to Austin, and it's a chunk play for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. So take a look from this end zone view, some pressure that comes in late here. Saymalu losing his block. It's Quinnen Williams too, one of the best D tackles in football. And Rodgers just getting this ball off. It's open, so it's not a tight window throw, but still, this is all arm. And this is just a really good throw from Rodgers, showing that arm is still alive. A little pressure from the edge, hitch up a little bit, interior rush, can't step into it, can't stride and have a perfect base. But Rodgers really showing the arm here, because obviously that platform is not ideal. Can't be, given the situation, obviously. And then Austin here on the corner. Pittsburgh flooding the jet zone coverage, getting open, making the catch, getting upfield, and getting some run after. So it's a great rep here from Rodgers from the pocket. Not everything Rodgers did always resulted in big play. Sometimes those little things matter, and this is a key situation here for Pittsburgh. 3rd and 2, 19-10 game, trying to come away with 7 points here. This is, I think, also late in the half. I see the time here, right? Yeah, 1:46 left, and so really big possession here. Pittsburgh getting the ball at the second half. The idea at the time was score here, get the ball at the half, score again, potentially take the lead. Pittsburgh scored into the half, did not take the lead with their first possession of the third quarter, but these are just really, really important drives. This is 3rd and 2, RPO, really RPO heavy game for the Steelers, and just trusting Rodgers to sort it out and make a good decision. So you have the give to Gainwell, you have Jonnu Smith, a tight end, on the flat. Rodgers has his pick based on what the defense presents and decides here to hit Jonnu in the flat. Gets a little block, little pick from Pat Freiermuth, and Smith does a nice job to muscle his way forward and pick that up. So it's only a 2-yard gain, but on 3rd and 2, just given the situation, 2-minute drill, really, really big play. Later on that same drive to get Pittsburgh into that goal-to-go range, the completion in the slot to Calvin Austin, becoming that new number 1 as him and Metcalf trade routes. Metcalf running inside, Austin then running outside, and picking matchups. So I talked about earlier, there's trust in playmakers, but you're also going to go after some guys too. Sauce Gardner on Metcalf. You got the backup. I think that's Brandon Stevens or Carter. One of the, not Sauce Gardner, obviously. And so Rodgers just making a play here, putting a good ball to Calvin Austin, letting his guy go get it. We're going to get this fake toss action, which Pittsburgh has run quite a bit in training camp, a couple times this preseason too. It's become fairly popular around the NFL. Get these underneath defenders to freeze and be a little late here, but it's not affecting much here. It's man coverage, but Austin, good release, and then Austin, a heck of a catch too. He's really impressed with his combat catch, and physicality used to be where he really struggled to make those tough grab throws outside his frame. He's really made big strides there, but Rodgers, a good ball, a good read, exploiting matchups here, one-on-one on the outside, letting your guy make a play, and catches like that certainly will build trust with Aaron Rodgers. One last look at it from the end zone view. It's a good pocket here. Get this play action with the puller, and Austin making the play. Now you talk about the intangibles that Aaron Rodgers brings. 3rd and 4, third quarter, and he catches the Jets snapping. You got 12 guys on the field, 12th guy trying to run off. Rodgers snapping the football before he can get off the field. It's a free play. Throws down the seam to Jonnu Smith. Just because he has that free play, obviously probably wouldn't have done so in a normal situation, but gets the free 5 yards, and so there's really no risk here. If this ball's picked, it's coming back because of the penalty on New York. And so those are the things that Rodgers can recognize, he can pick up on. He's not a rookie, so focused on, okay, what's the play call, and what's the coverage, and what are my checks, what am I watching for? He can see the big picture. He can see the defensive lineman trying to run off the field. And this guy should be sprinting. I don't know why he's slowing down. I don't know why some of these guys slow down when they get to the sideline, because you're in a race there against time to get off the field, and see these guys jog along. Doesn't make much sense to me, but take it for sure. Rodgers certainly did. It's 5 yards on a first down. And sometimes quarterback play is about taking a profit and checking the ball down and letting your guys make plays. We see that from Aaron Rodgers on this throw to Jaylen Warren for what becomes a 17-yard gain. Nothing there. Rodgers doesn't like what he has initially on this corner route to DK Metcalf. And so find your safety valve. Jaylen Warren, the linebacker or the DB, whoever it is right here, the DB slips, and that allows Warren to turn the corner and pick up 17 yards. And so just simple stuff like that. You don't like your first read here. Trying to read this kind of smash concept. Gainwell, little two-back action here for the Steelers. Metcalf on the corner. Just didn't like maybe the safety. I mean, the read's not bad, but when you're on Sauce's side, can you fit this ball in? The safety's he's on the number. He's not on the hash, and so it's a tight throw with Gardner underneath. And so let's go elsewhere with it. Find your check down. Let your guy make a play. And because the defensive back slipped, Warren's able to turn the corner and pick up a first down. So just simple stuff like that. Taking a profit when it's there. Not trying to do too much. Not trying to force a throw. It's a good job here by Aaron Rodgers. Take a look at it from the end zone view. Rodgers in the pocket. Find his check down. First down Steelers. Rodgers gets a little skittish here, but overall makes it work. Finding DK Metcalf to the bottom of your screen on this crosser. This is a mesh sit concept. Pittsburgh has run this a ton dating back to last year. It's very common under Arthur Smith and pretty common around the NFL. It's really, I think some have called it Maestro. It's a lot of things going on here. You have this mesh concept here with Metcalf on the crosser. We'll kind of talk through the play, and then we'll talk through the decision. And so this mesh here by Darnell Washington and DK Metcalf, the Y, the tight end, sets the mesh. He's always over the top. DK running underneath. That's going to be your man beater. If they're in man coverage, you're going to try to create this pick and rub here. You're getting this sit concept, or the sit route, I should say, from Austin. So with zone, the receiver or the tight end often will settle underneath. And then you're getting also this rail route by the running back. So if you'd like to look here, if you get man coverage, you can get the hit the running back as well. That's Warren going downfield. But they're in zone on this play, so the mesh initially might not feel like it's there. You see Rodgers kind of drop his eyes a little bit, but then reset. Man, the zone gets a little messy here from New York. Metcalf wide open, and Rodgers able to find him, and Metcalf gets a big gain and a first down. So Rodgers staying composed, drop the eyes initially for a moment, but then keeping your eyes downfield, finding your playmakers, finding the open DK Metcalf turns into a really good gain for the Steelers. You know, last year, guys like Russ, even Fields, they might bail, they might run around, try to create something. Rodgers keeping his eyes downfield, finding some clean air. Once he kind of reset himself, getting this ball away before getting hit, and DK takes off. Check out this touchdown to Jaylen Warren, open-handed play fake. Warren into the flat, nice concept and well executed for the touchdown. And just play action, again, being effective. And especially down in these low red zone, goal-to-go situations, you just need a step on the defenders often to be that difference between, incompletion or being stopped short and a touchdown. And so Rodgers presenting the play fake, even though it's not going to sell it incredibly well because it's an open-handed fake, the back taking off. You're just showing the ball here. Watch 44. Watch 44 initially here because Rodgers turns his back. You're getting that illusion of the run here initially. He's responsible for Warren here in the flat, but because he stepped up initially, he's now late, has to work through some trash, and Warren is wide open for this score. Take a look at it one more time. 44, seeing the run action, Rodgers turning his back. By the time the linebacker realizes this is a play fake, it's a pass, he's now behind, and that is a difference to make this wide open. Really nice play call, too. Can also see, what angle should we look at here? Just the design of it, too, watching Connor Hayward on this play coming down and blocking down to help crack Quinnen Williams and just making sure Rodgers has some space to roll out to the right. And looks like an Arthur Smith call, too. I mean, obviously, they're all Arthur Smith calls, but Rodgers, I think, really liked this one. We can see him at the end of the play here. Watch him point at somebody right there. Touchdown. Rodgers, little point. And I assume Arthur Smith is somewhere off screen. And that's Rodgers saying, hey, nice call there for a pitch and catch touchdown as Pittsburgh getting their way back into this game. Pittsburgh gets the ball right back after the Kenneth Gainwell forced fumble that Ben Skowronek recovered. And Rodgers confirmed this after the game. This touchdown is the same concept as Pittsburgh hit to Skowronek on the first score of the game for Pittsburgh. So same play action. You're getting this insert look here too from Austin, running his route through the tight end, through that gap between tight end and right tackle, getting behind the defense, wide open, and another strong off-platform throw by Rodgers. Play action, rolling to his right here. Pressure in his face, making that throw. That arm certainly still very much alive for Aaron Rodgers. The mobility also looks decent for where he's at. Granted, it is September, and we'll see how things look, late in the season. And he got hit a ton in this game, and that can't continue. But making this throw, can't step into it. Really just arm, but also squaring his shoulders, squaring his hips, and being accurate too. That's also a really important part. So Rodgers still showing some technique here. While it is off platform, you can still get your upper body aligned correctly. Rodgers doing a nice job here getting his body aligned in turn. It's a really good ball. A lot of heat on this one too. Calvin Austin with that play action, getting everyone to step up, opening up things behind DB. Probably not because of play action, I don't think. Take a look at it one more time here. But he slips. I think that's Brandon Stevens, whoever it was. He came down. Maybe this was play action, or the insert block maybe influenced the mind of the DB here about potential kind of guessing and believing it was going to be a run. But either way, loses track and slips and gets behind, or Austin gets behind him, I should say, and it is an easy touchdown. So I'll wrap things up here. I'm probably talking too long through this clip. You guys saw it once on the Skowronek touchdown. Here it is again. Well called, well thrown, and Pittsburgh scoring again. And now let's look at the final drive, the game-winning drive that resulted in Chris Boswell's 60-yard field goal and Rodgers hitting Pat Freiermuth in the slot here, motioning the running back Gainwell out. Kind of a man clue. You understand the NFL, it's not always going to be 100%. Linebacker walks out, it'll be a guarantee of man coverage. Defensive coordinators know tendencies, and they want to have tendency breakers of their own, but, motioning him out, linebacker taking him, and kind of tells you it might be man coverage. And so Rodgers looks that way initially, then comes back to Freiermuth. Another good ball over the middle. Freiermuth made some really nice, tough catches over the middle. Slants are certainly back in this offense. I wrote about that before the season began. They were going to return to this offense after missing for the last several seasons, especially last year. Pittsburgh only averaged one slant attempt per game. 3 or 4, I think, alone at least in this game. But Rodgers, again, sorting everything out here, get an idea what the defense, what they're going to present here, looking left initially and then coming back to his right and throwing just a good ball out in front to Freiermuth for the reception and get this drive going. There wasn't a whole lot else to show on this drive. They hit the PI to Calvin Austin that really created a big chunk play for Pittsburgh, and then a couple of screens that weren't my favorite play calls late in the game. But good ball here by Rodgers, who's, again, being that field general, sorting everything out, giving him the keys, and that's why he signed him for these big-time moments. So, for Aaron Rodgers, a great debut and one that was needed for Pittsburgh because there wasn't a whole lot else to help him. The defense struggled. The run game was non-existent. The offensive line played pretty poorly overall, and so Rodgers really had to carry this team. That cannot happen every single week, obviously, but it's good to know that in moments where you need that, be it for a game or a drive, you're facing some really high-level opponent. Say you get into a playoff game, you won't need to beat the Ravens or the Bills or whoever on the road. You need those quarterbacks who can go toe for toe, at least in a moment in time, and put up points. Not saying Rodgers is as good as Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or insert great quarterback here, but in moments he can still turn back the clock. You need a guy that can at least be capable of having those big-time moments to get you a win when you need it, and it was certainly needed in this game. So, great debut for Rodgers, big win for Pittsburgh. We'll try to go 2-0 against Seattle on Sunday in the home opener at Acrisure Stadium. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel. Also, check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.